Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Mindful Moment. My name is Mary. I am owner and founder of Merry Minds with Mary. Today we are continuing our Proverbs challenge. So let's hop straight into the Bible, the book of Proverbs, chapter 15, verse 23. A man, or we could add in a woman, finds joy in giving an apt reply, and how good is a timely word. This is one that can hit close to home for a lot of us who like to be right all the time and who maybe might be a little bit argumentative. Yeah, I'm throwing myself in there with this one. We always feel like we need to stand up and get the last word in, because if they understood our perspective, they'd agree with us, right? Solomon had a slightly different approach. His approach was, hold up. Don't waste your breath just trying to argue. Save it. If it's not the right time to explain yourself, just keep quiet. If it's not the right time to discuss the topic, hold your peace. Wait for the right time. And that's a tough thing to do, isn't it? If you're in school and the teacher calls you out on something and you did not do it, but they're determined that you did, learn to keep your mouth shut. Arguing is not going to help your case. When I was in elementary school, I had a gym teacher, and he was not my favorite teacher, shall we say. And one day he accused me of doing something I had not done. And he wanted me to take a lap around the backstop. So at my elementary school, we had the cement area, some grass, and then a sports field with a backstop way in the far corner, far as the school building could be from the backstop as possible. And I needed to go run a lap around that. I did not want to. I don't run. I don't like to run. Never did, even as a kid. And he got on his bullhorn and he told me to run a lap. And I explained to him why I should not have to run that lap. He decided that I would be running 2 laps and writing some lines that evening. When I tried to explain my position to my parents, they said, well, we weren't there and we're going to take the teacher's side. Yeah. 30 years later, still not sure if that was a justified punishment, but I had to run those 2 laps and write the lines. Had I held my peace until I got home, and maybe then talked to my parents about it, the outcome might have been different. It's hard to say. It was 30 years ago. But it's a lesson that even kids struggle with, and as adults, we don't get much better, do we? You walk into the office one day, and your boss says, why didn't you do that form that I needed filled out? And you're going, but I did. Or, well, you didn't ask me to do it, you had asked my colleague to do it. Well, now you're the one getting lectured on why that form wasn't done, even if you weren't supposed to do it. It might be real tempting to smart mouth back to the boss and say, if you can't even remember who you had do the form, why am I responsible for getting it done now? Probably not going to go over well, is it? Solomon says, hold your peace. In fact, his exact wording is, how good is a timely word. Yeah. So when we learn to control that timely word, our life goes much better. When we learn to time our words and let go of the other petty stuff, We're not festering about petty arguments years after the fact. We don't have families who don't talk to each other because Grandma Betty said that you said. Well, if you just don't engage and argue, you can get it cleared up a whole lot faster. If we just pause and think before we talk, we just pause and think before we have that argument, it doesn't do us any good. It doesn't change the outcome to a positive. In fact, it can sometimes make an unpleasant outcome even worse. As we go through life, just pause and think to yourself, is this a good time for this conversation? And if not, hold your peace. You might end up with a few less funny stories about that argument, but you'll have more peace in the long run. You won't be known as the argumentative, always having to get the last word in. You'll be known as the person who, when they speak, it's important, and your words should be listened to. And that's something we all work on in life. So keep practicing. Keep a merry mind. Less arguing, more happiness. It's a win. And I'll see you next time. Have a merry mind.